I don't really like being alive or being awake. So
Yeah. And sometimes both.
yeah.
This is the Offive podcast.
We're two new friends.
Talk about
The Office.
This is season 3, episode 8, The Big Time. It came out July 30th, 2000. Whoa!
July 30th.
Ooh.
The new millennium.
We're celebrating the Willennium with Will Smith. And partying down, pretending to smoke cigars. Just for the look, though. We don't light them.
And other things of that nature.
It was all the rage. So, should we start? This is...
Wikia fandom is the best source ever.
Here's the description. Charlotte is completely besotted. Besotted?
Besot.
What?
I've never heard that word before, actually.
Try
I've heard it. I mean, I've read it, but I've never heard it out loud.
Have you ever used it in a sentence?
No, but I'm going to look it up right now.
You want to hear it in a sentence?
Yeah.
Charlotte is completely besotted with Trey, who she just met by accident, but already considers him her groom. Way too many commas in that sentence. At a chic boat party, Charlotte presents him to Carrie, who is already tired of the meeting by Fate Story and bumps into Mr. Big there. Without Natasha, despite her living with Aiden, they clearly miss each other.
Okay. So,
okay, I'm going to read the other description.
besotted is strongly infatuated.
Okay, well, that adds up.
Yeah. Yeah, read the other one.
Carrie runs into Big, who confesses that he misses her and can't stop thinking about her. Miranda gets annoyed with Steve's childish habits when he suggested they have a baby together. Charlotte falls in love with Trey after only a few weeks of dating and is convinced he's the one. Samantha believes she's hit menopause when her period is a week late.
All right. That was way better.
That was tight.
Yeah.
As Kate Spade's purses are.
Don't even fit a tampon in.
And she's dead now.
I know.
Not
that's
cool.
Really sad. Yeah. Not good to joke about.
And kind of in the same family as David Spade.
Well, yeah. What do you mean in the same family?
It's like David Spade's sister-in-law or something.
Oh, I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying like in the same family as in like similar.
No, they're really related.
Oh, okay. So we've got like 3 different storylines going on. Well, 4. I mean, there's always 4, really.
Right. One for each lady.
Exactly.
I feel like maybe I should try to get through this other description just because it has more details.
Okay.
And I feel like maybe some of our Office fans haven't seen this episode in a while.
Okay.
Charlotte is completely besotted with Troy, who she just met by accident, but already considers him her groom. At a chic boat party, Charlotte presents him to Carrie. Okay, they spelled Carrie Carry.
What the heck? Where's this info coming from?
I don't remember. Who was already tired of the meeting by Fate Story and bumps into Mr. Big there. Without Natasha, despite her living with Aiden, they clearly miss each other. She's not living with Aiden, is she?
No, they're not living together. I mean, he's there a lot.
Discounting this. It's just so bad. Samantha, who just moved into the meatpacking district, is invited by a much older new neighbor, Len. Discovering her period is 5 days late, she gets drunk and accepts to go all the way. Samantha.
All the way.
But then nature steps in.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. To Miranda's utter and sarcastically uttered surprise.
So, is that really what that says too? Oh no.
This doesn't make sense. To Miranda's utter and sarcastically uttered surprise, Steve suggests they consider making a baby. They settle for the time on a puppy he would care for, but when that doesn't work out, ... Written by KGF Visitors. C-. Visitors.
That was really bad.
Oh. Well, anyway, I guess we'll kind of talk about it.
Because
in sentences that make sense later.
Yeah. Okay, so we could go into that when we get to the characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Great Scott, predictions and trivia. This episode was directed by Allison Anders and written by Jenny Bix.
Okay. 2 new ones.
Oh, yeah. Yep. They haven't done any episodes of The Office.
Yeah.
I have some trivia.
Yeah, so do I. Okay, so Carrie's pendant that she's wearing on the boat.
Oh.
This isn't the first time we've seen her with that pendant. She has it for almost all of season 3.
Whoa.
And it is a Bulgari Tondo pendant. And in 2000, when the show aired, guess how much it cost?
How much?
$18,200.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I thought it was the heart of the sea.
It kind of does look like that. It has some sort of... Oh, you mean you thought it was like the Titanic?
Yeah, some people's Titanic or other people's love boats.
Exactly.
And plus, it was actually Carrie's grandmother. She was buried with it, so... Family heirloom. That's a really good trivia. I have one, too. In this episode, Samantha tells the girls that she's a little older than the others, as if they didn't know. But they already knew. In the episode The Baby's Shower in season 1, Charlotte says she doesn't want to be a 40-year-old mother and says to Samantha, no offense.
Okay, so question. How old is Samantha?
42.
You think so?
Well,
Yeah.
she said 40. Well, she said 40-year-old mother. She could be older than that. Samantha's also not a mother.
Yeah. I bet 42 is pretty spot on. The other women are probably around, what do you think, 37?
Yeah.
So not too much of a difference.
No, just a few years.
Yeah.
And I looked up the difference between the actress. What's her name?
Sarah Jessica Parker, Kim Cattrall.
Kim Cattrall, the actor. She's not that much older. It's like 2 or 3 years.
Oh, okay.
And they're a little bit of a range for the other ones, too.
Okay.
Do you have another trivia?
That's all I have.
When Steve is watching Scooby-Doo, he tells Miranda it's the episode with the ghost in the old salt mine. But really, the episode is called Jeepers, It's the Creeper, which doesn't contain a ghost at all.
I did read that on IMDb.
But rather a creeper, not a ghost. And you might be interested to know that 2 out of 3 found that interesting on IMDb. So that's 67% interesting. Except... I didn't find it that interesting, so we're down to about 50-50.
Well, did you vote?
I didn't.
Okay, well. Then.
Well, I don't have an account.
Oh, well.
I'm not a Hollywood elite.
Yeah, that was the only trivia on IMDb for this episode.
Sad, really.
I know. We should put ours on there.
Yeah. And
we should make an account.
We should make a recap of the episode that's better than that one, because that's the one. I think that one was on IMDb too.
So bad.
And there's nothing on Wikipedia for the episode.
Disgraceful.
Is this show not popular?
It is.
But not as popular as some shows.
It's just a different demographic.
Oh, okay. Only ladies.
And they're not Wikipedia users.
No, they prefer fandom.wikia, as we all know. That's a sexist stereotype, I'm sorry.
How dare you? Okay, let's go into Finer Things.
Okay, Finer Things Club, aka there's good stuff here.
So I really liked the Kegel exercises.
Okay.
That was just a good moment, especially Samantha's face when she said she's doing her Kegels right now. Where were they? Were they at lunch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Or brunch.
And Charlotte didn't even know what a Kegel is.
Yeah, Charlotte doesn't know a lot of stuff.
She really doesn't.
There's a really funny Kegel episode joke that's like this on Arrested Development, too. Where Michael walks in and Lindsay's doing exercises, and they're just here counting, and she's just sitting on the bed motionless. And then later on, he goes in, and Tobias is doing the same thing, watching the same video.
Oh, that is actually really funny.
So I guess women can just do Kegels whenever.
Yeah, and it's like almost impossible to hear someone else talking about Kegels and not be doing Kegels. It's like that thing where if you say like, oh, are you clenching your butt? And you're like, no. And you automatically do it.
I didn't realize that. I think there's like a male version of Kegels. There's some muscle that's happening. I don't know what it does.
Neither do I.
Tighten anything. I just did it. It didn't help.
It didn't help. What did you like about this episode?
The sounds that Aiden makes when he's eating in their bed is so weird. So Carrie puts some food in his mouth and he's like, nom, nom. But it's like not a joke. Like she's not laughing.
I actually love that scene.
Yeah.
In the bed. She's like, when are they going to send in a search party? He's like, probably this spring thaw.
Yeah, spring thaw. He knows about nature and stuff.
Yeah, he's outdoorsy.
Yeah.
He works with his hands.
Yeah. And his dog.
Oh,
wait, question.
Yes.
Where's his dog when he's in Carrie's bed for so long that they need to call a search party? Who like does he call someone, hey, could you watch my dog? I'm gonna be like having a sex for like 4 days now.
Pete is only there when it's really part of the storyline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. Maybe he's just like chilling in the kitchen or something.
Pete has his own life. He's got a job.
Yeah.
Two
Friends.
pups. Actually, Pete had a human child because he wanted it as a test run to see if he should have puppies. And then he ate it.
Oh my God.
What else did you like about this episode? Addie.
So I really like the puns that Carrie uses to transition to different scenes. Like,
yes.
She'll be talking about something that Samantha's doing, and then she'll just use it in a different way. I don't know.
That's what we love about Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Like, here's one.
Meanwhile.
That night, Miranda lost her partner. The next day, she got a new one. 15 of them.
And I was still enjoying my one.
Yeah. Question. How did they not make a joke about Samantha living in the meatpacking district?
I don't know.
Was that on the cutting room floor?
I feel like it's in a different episode.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because they said she just moved to the meatpacking district. And it's Samantha. And then they're just like, here's a dangling fruit. And then they're like, moving on.
Yeah, I guess it just didn't make it.
Yeah. Samantha moved to the meatpacking district. And soon she met her neighbor. And she was feeling menopausal. And she just wasn't up to having that.
Intercourse.
Yeah. Nothing packed.
I noticed also in this episode there's some themes. So one big one is timing is everything.
That's the thing. What are the other things? I had like 10 different things written down for how that's like references to time. But what are the other themes you have?
Well, I mean, I guess all of these are references to time, but like New York open 24 hours.
Right, that's time.
The timepiece or the watch that I've never called it a timepiece. The timepiece. The Cartier timepiece that Charlotte receives from Trey. I don't know, the dry cleaner not being open.
Yeah. That's all time.
Time, menopause happening. Yeah.
Question. How come you can never get your dry cleaning in New York?
Yeah, I don't know.
And every time you get there, the guy's standing there and just tapping his watch so aggressively, staring at you.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on. And he's like, It's like, do you have to tap 10 times? Couldn't you just like give a shrug? Like, you know, that's like
like, hey, I can't.
And actually there's two sorries. There's like a shrug with like a face. That's like really sorry. And then there's also like a, what do you want from me? Yeah, that doesn't work. Anyway, yeah, timing. Here's what I got. You can get anything in New York, 24 hours thing. Talked about her and Aiden being in their private Manhattan open 24 hours a day. Talk about the timing of their periods syncing up. Oh, yeah,
syncing up.
Then the age thing, which is also time, menopause. Says that Charlotte's happier than she had been in 3 years with a man she hasn't known for 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
It's about time I met you, is what it says on the timepiece.
Yeah.
Now I said timepiece. What's going on?
On the timepiece.
Like a zombie thing. I wonder if our listeners are going to start saying timepiece now tomorrow. Oh, check. Hey, is that an Apple time?
Do you have a timepiece? Is that an Apple timepiece?
Yeah. Is that a smart timepiece? Love is all about timing. You got to get them when the light's on because men are like cabs,
Yeah.
And you can get in them with your friends and
they have meters.
You bring your baggage. Yeah, they run the meter the whole time you're in there. And then you're with them forever because their light's on, so now they're married.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you get in one that's cash cab.
Yeah, very, very much like a cab in every way. Honestly, perfect analogy. When's going to be a good time to see Big? Then she writes on her laptop for her article, which is the hallmark of Sex and the City, is timing everything?
Yeah. So every episode of Sex and the City, there's this central theme. And then,
like we talk about every week.
Yeah. And Carrie always writes her article about it. Mm-hmm. So I just think it's really convenient for her to always have these things happening in her life that match up to what theme she's writing about.
Yeah. Let's come up with one now. In the age of Uber, is it possible to still get picked up?
In this hookup culture,
yeah.
How does somebody not swipe left?
Yeah. Maybe like something like current, right? So it's like in this age where we're all trying to find our soulmate, who's going to be a hanging Chad from the 2000 election? Oh, yeah. So anyway, timing stuff. Is timing everything? That's what we said. Oh, okay. Miranda says her clock is running out. Her eggs are running out. Day-old bread needed to stick together with Samantha and Len. 3 a.m. Miranda's getting nothing but aggravated. Then Carrie says she wanted Big to commit a year earlier, and Aiden's coming back too slowly.
Yeah, which is a sad note to leave the episode on.
Could you imagine writing this episode and just cramming all of these timing things? It's actually
a talent.
Kind of impressive, yeah. To be like, this one's, the theme is going to be this, and then like rework the way it's not really that the plots all have to do with time. But
every significant event or every interaction has something to do with time.
But it's like the same plot elements could be happening anyway.
Yeah.
It's just they're like loosely. Like Charlotte found a guy, but then they're playing up that they just met each other. And then Carrie and Big, but they're like talking about how it's timing, but you could be talking about something else too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only one that's really is like getting older would be a theme in some ways, but not others. Time's more general than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good idea.
Yeah, it is. And it's always a good idea to have Carrie write her article about it.
Right. Because that's what we love to read.
Exactly. Sex and the City, the column.
Do you have any other finer things?
So for finer things, the only other thing I have is the bathroom scene. I really liked that. I mean, that was where Miranda was talking about how men are like cabs.
Yeah.
I just really liked the way that it was set up, that you could see all of their faces through the mirror. And I liked their conversation. They were all just kind of in their element, chatting with each other. It's not clear like exactly where they are. It seems like there's maybe a party going on or something, and they have this moment together.
Yeah. They're like at a club or something.
Yeah.
I didn't think about how do they film that?
With the mirror and stuff?
Yeah, where it's like your perspective is the mirror. You're the mirror, kind of.
Yeah. I really like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And the other thing I like about that scene is that some of them keep disappearing into the bathrooms to put in tampons.
Yeah, and then come back out.
Yeah, so they like go back in the shot and then go into the stall and then come back out and then they're there again.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a continual scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that.
The last thing I have is just a bunch of quotes.
Okay.
One is when Steve says having a baby would be fun, and she says, a baby's not like a foosball table. And I was like, yeah, it's not fun.
At all.
Yeah, and you can't get better at it.
Yeah.
And you definitely can't win any money.
And you definitely can't, like, paddle it around.
Children and women with emotional baggage first.
That was good.
See big sickness.
Yes, these are the puns that I really like that she uses in between scenes.
The heart of the show.
Yeah.
I also like when Samantha says, I'm a little older than you. And she grabs everyone together.
Yeah, in the bathroom scene. It's really cute.
My past coming back way too fast and my future taking way too long to come home. That's the very end. And the other one is I couldn't stop Big from coming back in my life, but at least I could stop him from coming out of my speaker.
Yeah, I feel like she could stop him from coming in her life.
Yeah, she could have just locked the door.
Yeah.
And last thing, just an observation, but Steve is kind of like a grubby, like he's always slobbily dressed. He works at a bar, but his tank top in the last scene is way too bright. It's like brand new. And I feel like
white.
Yeah, it's like distracting because nothing else in the shot is that white. And I feel like they just got it, from the prop department. And they're like, we'll just grab one out of the package. But it's like, Steve wouldn't own that.
That's funny you say that because I was distracted by his nice muscular arms.
Oh, yeah.
For being such, kind of a slobby guy watching Scooby-Doo, eating cereal. Like, he's got some nice muscles.
He plays b-ball.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, that's about all I know about him.
As far as exercise, he pours beers. So
That's right. It's to beat up hooligans at the bar.
Yeah, maybe.
Punch them. How much do you have to punch something to get muscles?
I've never punched anyone, so I don't know.
No.
And I don't have muscles, so I don't know.
No, me either. And in fact, if we did punch someone, probably wouldn't be that bad for them because of the no muscles.
Yeah, that's true.
Should have been punching something this whole time. I love someone on Facebook shared a thing that was like, punching bags make just as good of hugging bags if y'all would calm down.
I've always wanted to try kickboxing.
Yeah?
I feel it'd be pretty cool.
You should. You'd be good at it.
Thanks. I don't know what that means, but I'll take it. What if I just went in there and just hugged it instead?
Yeah.
No, I will not.
I don't believe in violence against bags.
Against bags.
Yeah.
Bags.
Bags.
Okay, what do we have next?
Let's do our segment that we do every week called Fashion Show, Fashion Show, Fashion Show at Lunch.
Yay, this is my favorite segment.
We do it so often that I don't even inflect it anymore.
Fashion show, fashion show, fashion show at lunch.
I just try to get through it. Fashion show, fashion show, fashion show at lunch. Anyway, what kind of outfits did you notice in this episode?
So my favorite for sure was Carrie's volleyball jacket with a purple mini skirt and purple tights.
Yeah, I love that. It's like a high school track type thing. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
From the beginning of the episode?
Yeah, and she runs in it. You don't know that she has purple tights on because you only see the top half of her when they're at brunch or lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she's running to grab her laundry from the laundromat or dry cleaners, you see that she has bright purple tights on too.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I like that too. Fashion show, fashion show, fashion show at brunch.
They didn't go to their usual spot though in this episode.
Don't they have... Oh, I know the one you're talking about. That's probably a set, that they had.
Yeah.
Because they go there so much.
Yeah.
I like the sports coat with the pink unbuttoned shirt that Trey wears.
Oh.
There's like a pink button-up shirt, but it's like unbuttoned like 2 buttons or 3 buttons or something like that. And then it's like very Miami Vice, but the sports coat fits well. I think that's why it works.
Nice. Was that on a date or was that at the Gab magazine party?
Yeah, at the Gab party on the boat.
Yeah, and that also matched Charlotte's outfit, which I thought was nice.
Coordinated.
Yeah. So I also liked Aiden's pink sunglasses and denim in Washington Square Park with Pete.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. And Carrie, I feel that her style kind of reflects whoever she's dating, which I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but when she's with Aiden, she always goes for this like 60s, 70s vibe.
Yes.
And when she's with Big, it's a lot more refined and classic.
That is a really good point. Yeah, because she's wearing like, at the end, she wears that really like billowy type. It's like, it is pretty 60s.
And she's got like, when she's with Aiden, she has like, I don't know, I feel more denim and leather and fur and patchwork type stuff.
Yeah, okay. Well, in the bathroom scene, she's got a red top with just a bare midriff.
Yeah, it's like a tube top with fringe.
She's got a flat tum-tum.
She's a really flat tum-tum.
Good for her.
It's like actually so like disturbingly sculpted abs too.
Yeah. It's pretty nice. And
nice
then,
job.
So I want to make a compliment open-faced sandwich with Miranda here.
Okay.
Her weird gray suit that she wears when she's walking with Carrie is so bad.
It's so bad.
It's like...
And it's like...
Talking heads stop making sense. I don't know.
And it's like you're kind of, for a moment, distracted by Carrie's huge pink flower on her dress, but then you're like, oh God, what is happening? And they're like linked arms. And so they look like a lesbian couple. Not that a lesbian couple has a certain way of looking, but in the scene they definitely like look like they're a couple.
Well, and Miranda's really tall.
Yeah.
So they gotta look like a 50s straight couple.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
She's like wearing a poor fitting suit. and then Carrie is wearing a
like bright pink like housewife dress.
Yeah, housewife, or like what are those flappers?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a flapper dress type thing, and then but with a gigantic fake flower on it, which I actually like. The big pink fake flower, like the corsage, although it is distracting. It's like the sun looking at you.
It really is.
It's like, what if a flower were too big? You know what it looks like is in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, where they find this gigantic dandelion that's been mutated by the ooze, and that's how they find out the ooze has been leaking out. Looks
I've never seen that,
off.
but I can.
She was like,
I can only imagine.
For fashion.
Fashion show at lunch.
And so here's the second part of my compliment open face sandwich is Miranda's pinstripe suit later when she becomes partner is so cool looking.
Yeah.
It's like, it's cut better. It's just like a better color. And it's like, Miranda can pull off those suits. The gray one is just not good.
Yeah.
So I don't want people to think I don't like Miranda's in her suits.
Yeah.
The
I
hair
love
is
a good power suit.
Yeah.
I mean, Samantha's power suit at the beginning of the episode when they're describing her just moving in the meatpacking district, she's wearing like a hot pink power suit and it looks so good. But it's got a little cleavage. It's like really nice fitting. She's got big hoops on.
And that's a good one. You know, Miranda can't wear too many stripes. Like this one is striped, but it's subtle.
Yeah.
If her stripes are too bold, she kind of looks like Jack Skellington.
Yeah.
She's too skinny. I mean, she is what she is, but like to wear a suit, like it's like she just looks like her legs are like a mile long.
Yeah, that's true. She's super skinny and tall.
Yeah, like David Bowie or something.
Yeah, she
could totally play David Bowie.
Yeah,
she's got the haircut,
the hair, yeah,
sure.
The color of the hair too. I feel like.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for fashion. How about you?
Same.
Sweet. Let's move on to. We got to make sure YouTube comes down to film this, where we talk about the camera work.
Okay.
I didn't notice a ton in this one, but the camera does spin around like 180 degrees on the boat for the magazine party, but really slowly, and it's kind of cool. Like at first you don't see any of the main characters. It's kind of spinning slowly, and then Carrie comes out of the crowd.
Yeah, and then you see Regis Philbin in there.
Did you?
No, I'm kidding.
No. And then it turns and like kind of follows her, but it didn't change how fast it was moving. It feels like it's like a perfectly choreographed thing. Like
oh, that's cool.
It turns and then it ends up with her having the conversation with Charlotte and Trey.
I didn't notice that, so I'm glad you brought it up. I like Carrie's over narration, or her narration during the whole show is just kind of signature, but it kind of brings you back to, okay, this story is about Carrie, I guess. I mean, it makes her like the focal point of the show and kind of has like these seamless transitions between scenes, which I really like. And then another classic thing is like the zooming in on her typing for her column. So I don't know, just those two classic things are kind of cool.
It's kind of like the other characters are doing things, but it's all related back to the article and Carrie. So they must share everything together because she's able to narrate it.
That's what I was wondering, is how does she know what's going on in their life so well that she'll say, like, you know, they can, I don't know, basically be acting it out, and she's just saying, in a way it's kind of creepy because she's like, and then Miranda thought blah blah blah.
Right. I think it's just because she has so many conversations with them.
Yeah.
And have you ever, did we talk about this? Have you ever read the books?
No.
Candace Bushnell articles, I guess. Yeah, I read the Sex and the City book, and it's interesting. You can totally tell which people became these characters. Even though early on she uses her own name and she uses like the real names of people.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're all real people, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like a couple people were probably combined to become Samantha. Although it definitely seemed in the book like Samantha didn't know the other people. Or they weren't like all four close friends. It was like her and different friends she has that were like aspects of relationships. But it wasn't like they all hung out together.
Yeah.
But they're good. Good little stories. Some of them you can definitely tell where episodes came from, especially for the first season or two. Cool.
I want to read those.
Yeah. I got the audiobook on Hoopla.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Miranda, Cynthia Nixon, reads the audiobook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
what were we talking about? Oh, the camera work.
Yeah, zooming in on the typing.
I don't have too much about the camera work, I guess, but one thing is the kind of sound design is like how much you hear. I was talking about Aiden making his like nom 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 sounds, but also like Steve slurping his pasta or like eating cereal. It's all like crunch, like like they mic'd it really close to kind of be like, if you're paying attention to it, isn't it annoying? And it's kind of like, I think, to like show like
how Miranda's frustrated.
Yeah, she's like, she's at that point where it's like, why are you chewing so loudly?
Yeah. And then on the other hand, you have Aiden and Carrie and the camera above them in bed kind of spinning around.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, you know, just laying there, and it's kind of like the world is going by and they're just laying in bed.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Man, the camera loves those too.
They just can't stay away.
Yeah.
And then there's one other thing I noticed, which was during the kind of montage of Charlotte just making out with Trey, it fades like kind of night to night, and it looks like the same. I mean, they're just doing the same thing, so it's like just like fading from scene to scene, which is kind of cool.
Oh, okay, cool. Very good. Anything else for
very
the
good
camera?
I don't believe so.
Okay. We're going to skip crack open a cold open because this episode didn't have a cold open.
Interestingly enough.
Really weird. But let's do second drink.
I'm on that Soleil train again. The blood orange.
The blood orange. And I've got the Oscar Blues Pinner Session IPA.
How is it?
Throwback IPA. Delicious.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I wish we were drinking Appletinis, but alas.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I haven't decided yet. Okay. Now let's do our references with Kevin's Chili's.
Okay, so there's always a lot of references.
Oh, yeah.
To labels and stuff. Dominic Dunn,
who's that?
Writer, and Carrie told Big it was her out to get away from Big.
Oh,
so she's like, "Oh, Dominic Dunn is holding my place in line. I have to go."
At the bathroom.
Yeah, he's a news reporter.
That's really intimate.
Yeah, for Dominic to be doing that.
Yeah, I can't believe he agreed to that.
Yeah, that sounds...
For just like, Carrie Bradshaw.
In the women's bathroom line, too.
Well, I was thinking maybe it's only one bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Because they're on a boat.
Yeah, true.
Or maybe they're really progressive and they just have a universal bathroom.
Yeah, in 2000, maybe.
Probably not.
And then, you already said this earlier, but Titanic and Love Boat.
Yeah, Love Boat's a show. Never saw it.
Titanic's a movie. I did see it.
I saw it.
On VHS.
I think I saw it once. It was 2 VHS.
I only would watch the first one because that's when all the good stuff happens.
Oh, really? I'd only watch the second one when the boat sinks. And everyone's panicking.
We'd be really good podcast co-hosts.
Between the two of us, we would lick the platter clean.
Cover it all. Yeah.
That's true. And there's some places. He talks about the mutiny that's going to happen on this boat in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah.
And the ultra chic meatpacking district. Have you been there?
No, I haven't.
I went there before it was chic. I was just going there to pack meat into a tube
to get some sausage.
Sell across this country.
Did you really?
No.
Oh.
I have no idea what they're talking about. But there's some people, some label important people.
You got those? Madonna, Regis Philbin. That's all I have.
Kate Spade, the designer.
Oh, yeah, Kate Spade.
McQueen and Gucci.
J. Crew.
Those with shoes, right?
Yeah.
Is J. Crew a person?
I don't know. Maybe.
I thought it was like a rap squad. No, I'm just kidding. I put that down as a magazine.
A rap squad.
Because with Gab magazine, which is a new magazine.
What is it about?
Gab?
Yeah.
I'm guessing celebrity gossip or something.
Oh, okay.
But, it's just fake.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Then New Transitions. Is that a real magazine?
No, I don't think. I think that's fake too.
Yeah, so that's the one that Samantha got subscribed to, which is how she realized she's in menopause. So
that's like that. Did you hear about that girl who Target sent her parents an ad for baby supplies before she had told them? She was like 16 before she had told them she was pregnant. So Target ruined the surprise,
the miracle of having under a 16-year-old. They ruined the miracle of 16 and pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Regis Philbin, not to be confused by Daryl Philbin, who works in the warehouse.
That's right. I don't think Regis Philbin was as famous then. Because
he wasn't on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
No, that's like, I don't think so. I think that was like 2000. That's when he really took off. Because he was on Good Morning America, but I was reading Disney War, and it sounded like Regis wasn't like a huge get for them on that one. They were like wondering if they should have got someone better, but actually that show made him more famous.
Well,
I don't remember when that show came out, though.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in an earlier episode, we saw Donald Trump as a guest star, so maybe Regis Philbin will be our next president.
Well, couldn't be worse than the... Oh, yeah, so Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was 1999, so never mind.
Okay.
Just scratch all that.
But it was still in its first year, so...
Right. So, new transitions, that reminding you that you're menopausal would be like if I got like an AARP catalog sent here accidentally, and I was like, am I an old man? I think I'm an old man. And I was like hanging out with people. I'm like, you want to go out? And I'm like, I'm too old. I got this ARP.
I'm drying up.
Yeah. I'm drying up this spill because I work at a restaurant. And there's also reference to some things like
Cartier.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, that's actually more of a brand, I guess. Or a designer. For the timepiece.
Oh, right. There's reference to the Twin Towers and that you see them. So that's a reference to 9/11.
Sad.
Really inappropriate. And Batazzi sheets, which are $2,000 a set.
Are they really? Did you look it up?
I looked up. I couldn't really find them selling that. The ones I were finding, the sheets that were coming up, were not that expensive.
He exaggerated.
Or maybe they're not real.
Or you could just bleach them to get the blood out or whatever.
You don't bleach Batazzi
Okay.
Or whatever it is.
Batazzi.
Batazzi.
Is that Batazzi? Is that top you're wearing? Batazzi.
Batazzi. Yeah. I don't know about having sheets that expensive. Because, a lot of times, if you do have sheets that expensive, you shouldn't touch them.
Yeah.
Just leave them in a museum or hang them in your closet behind glass so that you don't accidentally ruin them.
Get menstrual blood on them.
Or just even the grime of your everyday life.
Yeah. She was like, I'm so sorry. I have to go.
But she's actually so happy because she's not menopausal.
Yeah.
Is that an oversimplification of menopause?
What?
So you didn't get your period and then like, oh, you got it. Never mind.
Well.
Because what about those other symptoms?
Yeah. It is totally oversimplification because she would know because she would be having hot flashes.
Or she'd go see her doctor instead of...
Her period was only 5 days late. And
she said, I'm not pregnant. Like she knew for sure.
How did she know?
I think she likes doing sex. Sex. That's how babies are made.
Exactly.
What I heard.
Is now a good time for a question?
Yes.
Why is Carrie chewing gum in this entire episode?
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Even when she's drinking a Cosmo, I'm like, why are you chewing that gum? I feel like when she's dating Aiden, she's chewing gum all the time.
She's so cash.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Wow. You're right. Aiden did change her a lot. And for the better.
Because she's not smoking. It's probably nicotine gum.
That's right.
Yeah.
You solved the mystery of the gum.
Yeah.
High five. It's like Scooby-Doo.
There's a ghoul in there. There's a gum in there.
Who the hell gets that excited by Scooby-Doo?
Yeah,
Scooby-Doo sucks.
I've never watched Scooby-Doo and I don't plan on it.
Well, I watched it a lot as a kid, and even as a kid, that was like one of my first things as a kid where I'm like,
it's boring.
All these episodes are the same because they meet one person and then they see some ghost and then they find out that the ghost isn't real and it was the one person. It's
Is that what it's about?
I was 8 years old or something.
Wow, you sound like a really pretentious 8-year-old.
Because well, it's like
this is not well produced.
No, it's just like every episode is like the exact same plot. It's just like a different thing. They're like, oh, they're in a different location, and the way the ghost looks is different. Time. It's like a ghost or like a scarecrow or something like that. And then, here's a Scooby-Doo episode. The mystery gang, they're in their van, they're looking for something. They show up, and it's like, oh, look, it's the an old cotton candy factory. And then the person goes, there's been somebody spooking the customers out of the cotton candy factory. We've had to close down. And then they're like, don't worry, we'll find out who they are. And then they go inside, and then they get chased. It's hilarious. And then they pull off the wig of the Bigfoot that's stalking the cotton candy factory, and it's the person from the beginning. And they're like, I was trying to scare everyone out of the cotton candy factory so I could sell it without union rights. Something like that. And then they'll be like, oh, and they move on.
They go smoke another blunt in
you're going away for a long time. We have a punitive justice system in this country.
This is a citizen's arrest. Scooby, get the handcuffs.
Yeah.
There's a ghoul in there.
I mean, that's Scooby-Doo.
I'll never watch it. I'll never have to now.
Should we do you think the world is crawling with Charlotte's?
Yes. My favorite, where we talk about the characters.
What character would you like to begin with?
Trey. So Trey has just entered the scene. They've been dating for 2 weeks.
Played by Kyle MacLachlan from Twin Peaks and the bad guy from the Flintstone movie.
And Portlandia. He's the mayor. I like him. I think it was a good choice to cast him as Charlotte's boyfriend because it seems a little ironic. Just because Twin Peaks.
Oh, I didn't watch Twin Peaks.
I mean, I just feel like everyone who likes Twin Peaks likes ironic things. So it's kind of ironic that he's even in Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Because it seems like, I don't know.
He's so young.
Different. Yeah.
I just think knowing, we've watched the whole series multiple times, knowing where his character is going and trying to find signs of it, but you really don't. They don't give you very many hints of that.
No.
Does he mention his mother?
Yeah. She's the one who gave him the bad gift.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So it was her fault that they met.
Wow. She's going to regret that one.
Yeah, she really is. Bunny. But, yeah, I mean, he just likes the chase. He doesn't really like, once they're married, he's not into her anymore. So
it's like a dog chasing a car.
That's why Charlotte should just, have sex with him before they get married. So she knows.
Yeah, not just a hand job.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, good for Trey for getting a hand job at the end. He had to go a long way with gifts.
And saying, I love you.
I love you. Yeah.
Oh, well. And Charlotte's getting re-virginized.
Because of how long she's waiting?
Yeah.
Do you think Trey's like a dog that's been chasing an ambulance, and then when he finally catches it, he doesn't even want to have sex with it anymore?
he realizes it's just full of sick people.
Yeah, he realizes the exhaust pipe is too hot.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, Charlotte. So she's the everything but girl.
She's...
Emphasis on...
But.
Yeah.
She thinks it's hilarious that Trey asked the cab driver to stop the meter before getting out to check if she was okay.
He's so cheap.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Charlotte's really happy in this episode, though. Yeah. I like seeing her happy. Even if to us it might seem so surface level, I think she really is happy.
Yeah, they have a real connection.
Yeah.
They love that story about them meeting, and they have that in common. So.
And they love kissing.
Yeah, too much.
They're in love.
They really are. And Charlotte doesn't know what Kegels are, so.
Ignorance is bliss.
Does she say anything else like judgmental or anything? Not really.
The vagina waits she's really disturbed by. But that's pretty much Kegels.
But Samantha's vagina waits for no man. Or no one.
No one.
Yeah. Let's talk about Samantha.
Samantha has a sex scene in this episode with Len.
Which is, shocking.
Yeah, and she's very uninterested. The whole date.
That's right. Even though Len makes a mean wine spritzer, apparently he's not able to impress her too much with his ponytail and his all-white clothes and his artificial hip and his disturbing winking and his aggressive arm placement while he talks.
And his weird, dirty talk during sex. Ugh.
No. No talking. Shush. Shush, Len.
Len. Please just keep it down, Len.
Yeah. His name should be Lamb. He seems like a lamb to me.
His ponytail is so bad. Samantha's just so turned off by him.
Yeah.
It's really funny because normally she wouldn't really care, I don't think.
That's right. He just needs to be more classy and aloof.
Yeah.
If he was just like, well, I have $2,000 sheets and I'm checking my mail, and then like had sunglasses on, then she'd be like, oh.
Yeah. Because
what does it feel like between those sheets?
I know.
Or something like that.
Like she was with Richard for so long, and he's just as gross as Len. I mean, to be honest with you. And he's older. Richard is.
It's so funny that they're always like, if somebody is kind of annoying, then they're also really bad at sex. Like, all right, I guess, but don't you have to try it with all of them before you can really write that script?
Oh, man.
But Samantha swears she's drying up. She doesn't want to use any lubricant suppositories.
Yeah. She should be using lube anyway.
Yeah. It's like blood isn't the only thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, at least she got her period.
And I think Samantha's just feeling left out because she's not synced up in periods with the other ladies, but also that she's hitting menopause before them. So it's going to be, which even though she's not hitting menopause, eventually she will hit menopause before them. So I think she feels left out because she's a little bit older, and like this is like she can pretend to be young by hanging and sleeping with everybody, but her biological clock is still ticking. Yeah,
I think she does feel left out pretty often. I mean, I don't think that she lets them know that, but you can kind of tell.
Yeah. And Kim Cattrall also felt a little bit left out during the entire production, as we've learned.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too into it, but her and Sarah Jessica Parker are not friends.
Yeah. Well, I listened to the entire podcast, the series about Sex and the City, about like the making of it, called, I don't remember. They did one about Curb Your Enthusiasm, and then they did one about Sex and the City. It's like a bunch of different parts. But all of the ladies, and it sounds like all the producers and stuff, are all basically on Carrie Bradshaw's side. And like it was all a matter of like how nice they were being about it, but none of them were on her side.
Oh, interesting.
Some of them were like, she's just being ungrateful, and other people were like, well, certain people have certain fights, but it's like when a band breaks up and like one guy, they're like, we're breaking up because we don't get along anymore, and then like everyone in the band reforms except for one person. You're like, yeah, oh, I guess we know what that was now. And that's how I feel like it is, because like the other ones all got along.
She did have some stuff going on in her personal life, though. I think her mom was sick or something. Well,
recently, but it sounded like they didn't really get along the entire time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what brought the big fight that ended Sex and the City 3.
Oh, man.
I would real hopes that it was going to be even worse than Sex and the City 2.
I know. Oh, man.
But like bigger and more spectacular and worse. Like
bigger.
This is what I want. Mr. Bigger.
Mr. Bigger.
Sex and the City, Fast and the Furious crossover.
Oh, yeah, where we get Paul Walker in there.
No,
that would have been so cool.
He's a dead man.
No,
you're a dead man, Paul Walker.
You can't be in this movie.
Yeah. I'm sorry, CGI Paul Walker.
So who else do we have? We have Miranda and Steve.
We got to talk about Miranda and Steve.
So Miranda is the mean mommy.
Mean mommy.
No one wants to fuck mean mommy.
Oh, that's the worst quote from this episode. What do you feel about Miranda and Steve in this episode? Whose side are you on?
I'm on Miranda's side.
Yeah.
Because Steve just assumes, like, they have this one conversation about, oh, yeah, we should have a baby. And she's like, nah, I don't think so. And then he's just like, well, you're going to have to get used to this because when there's a baby here. And she's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, and then, calls her in the middle of the day. Oh, meet me down here. It's really going to help. Mm-hmm. And then she cancels a meeting, goes down there, and he's like, we're getting a puppy. I don't know. It's just
like, ask her for a puppy.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird. I think, they don't like each other at all. Well, Steve likes Steve is a puppy.
Yeah, he does like Miranda a lot, but they're just not compatible at this time.
Or at any time, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Steve is like a certain type of person that I could imagine would be like fun at times. You'd be like, oh, reminded me of what it's like to be a fun kid. And other times, most of the time, it'll probably be pretty annoying.
Like my roommates.
Yeah. Hope they don't listen.
They don't.
Good. Yeah. So, I mean, I do think that Steve, like, he's watching cartoons and stuff like that, but then he's not letting her get her work done, and he's kind of like whining, and he's not like a baby. It's like a older child, maybe 7 or 8. So give him some credit.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel that he could have a successful relationship with someone, but definitely not Miranda, because she's always thrown into this existential crisis, questioning her identity and her goals, and that's not fair because he's not being supportive. But she does really tend to project her problems with her relationship onto her friendships. For example, she's not even really happy with Charlotte. Or happy for Charlotte.
Oh, right.
She's always just saying like, well, most women do this, most women do that.
Yeah.
Most guys do this, and I don't know.
It's such a weird choice to be with Steve.
Yeah.
But yeah, compatibility I think is the main issue. But they were like getting
Steve.
along pretty well. It seemed like they're like having good conversations. They're going out to eat. Like they're like doing date stuff. Then Steve tries to, I don't really recall, but like, Steve's like brings up the baby. It's out of the blue. And then all of a sudden it's like, things aren't working out.
Yeah.
But it's like, I guess he jumped too far. But it's just like, oh, there's a baby crying over in the restaurant. And she's like, ugh, babies. And he's like, we should have a baby.
Yeah.
I was like, is that how that conversation normally goes?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, yeah, unfortunately, though, later on, it's like, hey, I'm pregnant,
There's good stuff here.
Yeah. I mean, there's good stuff. I really like Steve. I think he's a really nice guy. But is he a good partner for Miranda? No.
He reminds me of Adam Sandler. It's like the exact same voice.
His voice is so, like, it sounds like a Wisconsin accent or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or a Philadelphia. I don't know.
What do you think about the puppy?
Cute.
Cute puppy.
But it doesn't have a name.
Fella.
It has Boochie Boochie Boo Puppy Boy.
So like when he thinks back on this breakup, it's gonna be, remember the last straw was when I put the puppy in her face and said, "Give mommy a kiss." Like, that's not a proud moment.
I know, and Miranda is like visibly upset. She's like really frustrated, and I would be too. She like pushes Steve like, wake the fuck up, and then it's just like, no, this is not okay.
But also, she shouldn't have a baby.
No, she shouldn't.
She's like, you said that you were going to take care of the puppy, and now the puppy's whimpering like a puppy. It's like, that the baby's going to cry even if someone says they're going to take care of it. Like, you don't like tape up its mouth. Like,
I know.
You're like, oh, I thought you said that when we had a baby, and now I feel like I hear it crying. So what are you going to do about that? Like,
I know.
Did you remove it from the premises?
It's like when she's at the pet store and she's like, yeah, she was surrounded by bitches, but she didn't want to be a bitch.
I love that.
It's like, okay, so you're just going to say, yeah, we could get a puppy, even though it's going to whine.
Yeah.
Like, that's just irresponsible on Miranda's part. She should be like, no, I don't want a dog. I don't want a baby either. Like, if you do, maybe you should move on. They should have just broken up at the pet store.
Right. But she didn't want to be a bee.
Yeah.
Or a dog.
Yeah.
All right, now let's talk about our love triangle.
Mr. Perfect, Mr. Big, and Carrie Bradshaw.
Yeah. So, Mr. Perfect is the best.
He's adorable, loving, kind, hot.
Yeah.
He makes furniture. He has good style.
Takes his shirt off. He's a carpenter like Jesus. He's got a dog like Jesus.
He's the best.
He's got long hair like Jesus. White, unlike Jesus, but we'll let it slide.
In most depictions.
Yep.
Jesus is white.
Aiden's so good.
Aiden is the best.
I love that the problem with Aiden ends up being
too nice.
Yeah, because he's not mean enough to me.
Yeah. He doesn't call me kid, which is my least favorite thing of the whole series, is how Big calls her kid. It just bothers me so much.
Yeah, absolutely it does.
Like something like Aiden right before he leaves to go to the market, and he just sticks his head in and is like, you make me so happy, and then like taps his fingers on the door. I'm just like, oh my god, he's the fast.
He deserves better than her.
He really does.
You know, it really kind of, in retrospect, pisses me off how in the second movie they treated him.
Yeah.
Because it's like he like settled with somebody and then had all these kids and then also kisses her.
Yeah.
Spoilers for the way future, but
yeah.
How annoying to like
have like such a great character and then you come back in the movie and just
yeah. And they also like show that he doesn't put up with any crap.
Yeah.
And then like to have him be like, oh, he just married somebody.
Yeah.
You know, it's so irritating that he would have done that. I mean, I'm just saying that wouldn't happen in real life. That's not like unrealistic, but to think that like in the future like that, someone that was worse for you would have such a psychological hold on you that you, after like getting married and having kids, are still like, oh, I saw that mean person. Well, I don't know. Things could work out.
I know.
It's so depressing to me.
Yeah. And Carrie, especially because we know her flaws. She's not that good of a partner. Mm-mm. I mean, she lets Big come back into her life multiple times. That's
like a psychologically abusive relationship. Or yeah. I've like met a lot of people that have relationships where it's like, oh, that person's the worst and you hate them and you talk about it all the time. Oh, they want to get back together? Let's get back together. And you're like, everyone that knows you, and it kind of irritates me that her friends aren't more like that, honestly, because like every once in a while they're like, oh, Big, but they're still kind of like, well, he is so cool.
He's the one.
And it's like, come on. Just like tell her to get the hell out of there.
But when Miranda's the only one that will do that. Mm. And when she does, Carrie just becomes isolated.
That's true.
That's
what happens in those abusive relationships.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Big is the worst.
Yeah. So
it's a doughy disaster.
So I wanted to say, so let's do our segment. You never expect you're the murderer.
Mr. Big, you're the murderer.
Mr. Big.
John, you're the murderer.
Oh, you outed him as a John. Yeah. No, Big.
Boo. He says that to her too on the boat. Boo.
Boo?
Yeah, when he comes back like downstairs to find her after she leaves with the cheese in her mouth. Then he comes back downstairs and she's, having a moment to herself. And he goes, boo.
And he, like their big moment on the boat is when someone bumps into her and she like falls into his chest. But he like also goes in for like a kiss and everything.
Yeah. Scummy.
Presumptuous dick.
Yeah, he is.
So do you think it affects your love of the series to have Mr. Big be like such a key part of it?
I mean, I think that as I was watching the series, it was like, of course. Every time I saw him, I would just be like, of course. And like, of course, she would ruin things with Aiden because of Big. And it just, I mean, I don't think it affects my love of the series because it is so realistic because it's not like a perfect ending for her.
No. You just expect, I'm totally fine with her messing up and everything and being with Big, but then to like have the show and the movies be kind of like, and that was right, that was the right thing. You're like, well, come on, that wasn't the right thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Maybe she did it, but like, well, I mean, in the shows and movies defense, they always have a million problems all the time,
and then they solve them in 30 minutes, and then on to a million
or in 2.5 hours.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, Big, I feel like it's kind of odd that he's always where she is because it's New York.
Yeah.
It's a big city.
It's a Mr. Big city.
Yeah. And I don't understand how he's always at every party.
Yeah.
I mean, there's multiple times where he shows up and it's just like, how are you here?
Well, in this case, it seemed like he went to the magazine party because she might be there.
Yeah, exactly. And then leaves the voicemail.
Although I kind of get it. After reading Meet Me in the Bathroom about like the New York scene in the early 2000s, it's like those people did see each other a lot because it's like, even though the city's really big, like the scene is whatever scene you're in. So I just don't really necessarily buy that they'd be in the same scene.
I think that's where it comes down to it because Carrie's in like this fashion / writer scene or like artist scene.
Yeah.
And Big is a financial, I don't know, analyst
business,
or something.
Cigar people.
Yeah, so I don't understand how that would cross over.
But if it were on purpose, you could go to those other types of events and run into them if you wanted to.
But she would know. And I mean, she probably does know. I mean, because he showed up at her house. But I feel like that's where the line is. Like, why are you allowing that to happen?
Well, and we've seen the whole series, like I said, but the end of this episode is such like a stab in the heart after the show has got you interested in Aiden, to be like, Big's coming back, and she's not really that forceful about saying no. Oh, don't worry, they still had another conversation. Oh, she left the message. Oh, she told him to go, but kind of like in like a, oh, Aiden's coming back way. And then she listens to the message anyway, and you're like, she should have just deleted it, and, you know.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, Carrie.
I know, and just her voice when she's talking to Big is always such a baby voice. Mm-hmm. It's always like, what are you doing here? And like...
Do you think she has dad issues?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know they really talk about her dad, but that seems like it, like, to be attracted to like Big and have him call her kid, and like he's the big guy that always is in control and knows what's going on and has all the money and like is super secure, and
in her eyes,
the power dynamic is not even between them, and I think that's what's so irritating.
Yeah, I just think that the one big mistake that Carrie made in this episode is not telling Aiden. Like, to hide it, to be secretive is really
turning
deceitful.
Off the voicemail right away.
Yeah, just be like,
think you're right.
Because I mean, if she would have said like, what, dude, like, listen to this guy.
Yeah.
And then Aiden would have been like, wouldn't have left, and then Big would have come to the door, and Aiden would have been like, hey, can you please leave?
Aiden would have answered naked.
Yeah, something else. Like, why does she hide it from him?
Yeah.
It's not like he's going to blame her.
No, it's totally her fault. It's like her choice. She's like, oh, well, it could have worked before, you know? Yeah. Ooh, maybe
timing,
now he's
I guess, is just so wrong.
Yeah. Not timing, Carrie.
It's not timing at all.
He's a bad
it's
person.
Like, yeah, it's like, you are in a happy relationship. Like, don't ruin this.
Mr. Bad.
Mr. Bad.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm giving my Dundee to Mr. Big.
You are?
No.
For persistence?
No, let's do our Dundies, though.
Okay.
You said yours first last time, so I guess I'll say mine.
Yeah.
I think I'm... Oh, there are actually multiple good options this time. I think I'm going to give it to Charlotte, because she's really, you know, even though they keep telling the same stories, that's like little crap. It doesn't matter. It feels like your thing between the couple. Don't annoy other people with it too often, but like, they're doing really well so far. And I like,
she's happy.
It's really hard to say that knowing like where that's going, but it's like, at this point, good for her. She's happier than she's been in 3 years or something. So yeah, ultimate happiness for Charlotte. I think he's the one. Go get her, girl. Go get him, girl.
Go get her, girl. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to give mine to Aiden.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though he was kind of a background character, he's just such a sweetheart. And he has really good style.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This is a classic Aiden episode where you're just like, oh, like when she ends up back with Big, you're like, oh, remember those days? I need to go back and watch those episodes where they just stayed in bed all day. It was the best.
Right. Okay. Good. Yeah, their relationship's going well. And what do you give this episode rating?
I'm not going to ruin the countdown again.
Do
we say go at the end or just say it?
Just say it.
Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Beach day. Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, it's a great episode.
Yeah, I love that episode. I mean, I don't love it, but I like it, and I think there's good stuff here.
Not enough, Nathan. Not enough for pretzel day.
That's right. And I want to do another segment called I think we hold up very well to even severe scrutiny with an iTunes review.
Yay!
That you don't know.
Reviews. Okay, cool.
So here it is. It's called Entertaining and Funny by Katie Grez 85.
Aw.
Great podcast. I actually am not a huge podcast person. This is the only one I really listen to consistently. I found out about it on Facebook a few weeks ago and am currently binging them in my car ride to and from work each day and don't want to catch up and have to wait for more episodes. Face with the tongue out. As another listener said, it has become like listening to old friends of yours chat about The Office. 2 weeks ago, my husband and I had a very stressful day when one of our cats had to have major surgery. Driving him to the vet that morning, I was stressed, shaking, and nervous, but I listened to an episode of the Offive on the way, and it helped calm me and took my mind off it. So thank you, Addie and Nathan.
That is so nice.
My favorite parts of each episode is the trivia and the new segment called Crack Open a Cold Open. Great name, BTW. There's so many hilarious cold opens, and I love being reminded of them. Sorry for the long review, but keep it up. Definitely a 5 out of 5 and would recommend for all Office lovers. P.S. One of our cats is also named Addie. Smiley face.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
That's the best review.
That is the best review we've ever gotten.
I mean, I love all of our reviews, but that was really heartwarming.
Yeah, that is really nice.
So thank you, Katie Gross, for leaving that for us.
I hope Addie did okay at the surgery. Or maybe it was the other cat.
Yeah, one of the cats. But yeah, it's so nice that that would be like something a stress reliever. Because sometimes there's like podcasts I listen to when I'm getting bad news about the Mueller report or something. And I'll put on a podcast about pop culture and try to get sucked into that instead of the regular world.
That's cool. That makes me so happy that we made a difference in someone's life.
Yeah.
That's why we do this.
Changing lives. And but I got one other thing.
Okay, what? Did you get... Oh my gosh.
One more thing. Can you grab this? Let's grab those scissors.
I was going to ask you.
We got a package and we want to open it here.
If these are our last words, it's because whoever sent this...
I don't know how fast Anthrax works. We'll probably get some more words in. But yeah, we got a package here that a listener has sent us, addressed to the Offive, and for the first time ever, we're going to open it. The office
under the bunk.
It's hard to open. I didn't...
There's bubble wrap is what I'm seeing.
Bubble wrap. All right.
What's that?
Oh my God.
What is that paper? Oh, it's a Dundee?
Oh my God.
No way. No way.
Oh! It says 2019
so cool.
Dundee Award, World's Greatest Podcast.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
That is so cool.
Unbelievable.
And look, it's you.
It looks just like me. Same haircut.
That's amazing.
That is really cool.
What a nice...
Got an Instagram.
I wish we had That is awesome.
And this came from Scott Zabka Jr.
Thanks, Scott. That was so nice.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate the Dundee. And like, oh, I got that, and then we got the review, and now
it's too much. I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, and now that I'm thinking about it, I hope that these two lovely people actually listened all the way through our April Fool's Sex and the City episode, because I feel like I don't listen to this show. I don't watch that. I don't know what they're talking about, and turn it off. But
wait, let me get a picture of what is.
Next time you'll be like, well, where's the Dundee? I think I threw it out.
It was either keep it or.
Yeah, I keep it we're going to keep it in a display case at home. TMI. Okay, well, thanks so much for listening to this April Fool's episode of The Office. Hope you learned a lot about Sex and the City. And don't worry, we'll do the real Season 3, Episode 8 next time.
Yeah, and give us a shout out if you think we should do Sex and the City podcast after The Office podcast.
Yeah. And also, Dunder Mifflin Con. It's coming up in 2020. We haven't mentioned it in a while, but go to their Facebook page or their website, Dunder Mifflin Con. The dates and everything are going to be announced soon, I think. So get excited for that. It sounds like a really cool fan convention. And
woo! It's in Pennsylvania.
Scranton, a little place. Have you heard of that place?
It's in the meatpacking district.
It's going to be in Stamford, Connecticut. Oh, wait, hold on. Josh isn't here. Oh, it's going to be in Stamford. Anyway, children and women with emotional baggage first.
Thanks, kid.
Charlotte is happier with 3 years that a man she hasn't. It says that Charlotte's happier with 3 years. She says that Charlotte's happier than. Oh, I wrote it wrong. Says that Charlotte's happier than she had been in 3 years with a man she hasn't known for 5 minutes.